Hope everybody out there's having a good day today. Got Mr. Cauliflower Cheese here with me,
Cauliflower cheese.
and I hope I'm pointing on the right side.
Do it again. Point.
Hope
Yeah.
I'm pointing on the right side.
You are indeed. You are indeed. Oh, you have a like already.
Yep. As I click my own like.
Oh, you have a like already.
Ooh.
Oh, what's happening there? Why
Sorry about
can't I
that.
hear myself? Oh,
Yeah, I forgot to hit the mute. I was waiting for it to come up so I could mute it.
okay.
It tears it up,
Ah,
and
okay.
while I'm waiting for everybody else in here to come in. Uh-oh, where's my... Might as well get this going.
Absolutely. So I thought I would pick a specific topic. Okay.
Okay.
And this one
Hey, Kelsey.
is perfect for you. All right. So I thought about your interests, and well, no, they're not your interests, is it? It's who you are as a person. So being an inventor, maker, very educated, very well read in many averse of a subject. Okay.
Yeah, I try to be.
So you are. All right. What you said to me earlier about the whole medical thing, I was like, what the fuck? I'm starting to lose track here. I don't even know some of the stuff he's saying. All right. And I'm not a doctor. I'm not a doctor, but, I've done a hell of a lot of clinical training to get where I am.
Right.
So, okay. So, not so much a question, but it's a discussion, okay? So,
Sure.
there was a guy, all right? I think I'm pronouncing his name, right? Okay, so there was a guy called Robert Heinlein. Heinlein? Heinlein. Heinlein. I'm not even sure who he is or what he did, okay?
Okay.
So Robert Heinlein said, all right, and this is a quote of his, a human being should be able to change a diaper, plan an invasion, butcher a hog, con a ship, design a building. So, the question being, is being a jack of all trades better than being a specialist in 2026?
Yeah, it actually is. Because of the jack of all trades, you can eliminate most of the basic stuff that you would normally have to hire a contractor in for. And being able to do the repairs and stuff yourself on different things, it saves you a bunch of money because contractors can get expensive.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you have a pipe burst underneath your home or in your walls, if it's PVC, you can go down to the hardware store. You'll know what size it is, whether it's Schedule 30, Schedule 40. You'll know if it's 3/4, ½ inch, 1 inch. You can run your sanding around it, get it all polished up, put your glue, your primer, and everything, stick the pipe together, let it cure, and you fix the problem for probably about 15, 20 bucks. Versus that same crack, you call a plumber, they're going to charge you for the call to come out. Then they're going to sit there and charge you for the time it's going to take them to reinstall that or cut out and remove the old pipe, get a new piece to put into it. And some of them, they require that you have to have the water company come out to shut the water off before you can even do anything with it. And all in all, you're looking at probably what costs you $20 to fix for yourself, paying an expert $500 to $1,000 for the same repair.
I think as well what it says here, it's not just talking about you've just went from like 22, I don't know if you noticed that, 22 people in here.
Yeah.
To 7 to 5. It's always the same anyhow. Who's this? Sinos?
Well,
Sinos, God. Don't know how to say his name. Anyhow, sorry, digressed. Not always happening. So,
God. Welcome everybody to the channel. Today we're just having a discussion on different things. Mr. Cauliflower Cheese has a subject of being able to be a jack of all trades.
The specialist versus the generalist.
That ability.
Yeah. So as well, when I'm looking at it here, I don't think it means just specialist versus generalist. not just from a hardware point of view. Hang on, I'm
No,
going
you're
to be
fine,
sorry.
son. You're
Absolutely.
fine. You're
How
not
do I say?
disturbing anything. We're welcoming everybody in here. We're all about
Absolutely.
spreading the love, spreading the joy, and sharing some knowledge. And today
Good
we're talking
boy.
about people who are jacks of all trades.
Yeah. But I think what it says here, sorry, as well, is it's not just talking about, hardware, DIY malarkey. I think it's talking about everything from neurosurgeons to janitors. And I've lost where. Give me 2 moments. Let's find
We're
it.
doing good, Sinosk. Hope everybody out there is doing well too.
Have I seen Senosk in Beachy's streams? I'm sure I've seen
That
that
I'm
name.
not sure.
I'm sure I've seen that name. Have you came from Beachy's stream, Senosk? Have you been in his streams?
Oh, well, we're waiting on him to respond. Getting back to the subject matter, and again, sticking with being able to do your own stuff. You get a hole in your wall. Normally, if you got to call a contractor out, they're going to charge you to come out, look at it, to give you an estimate, unless they do a free estimate. And then when you call them in, they're going to end up either more than likely taking and tearing out the whole piece of drywall, and then they're going to upcharge the repair. They're going to have to do paint matching, paint correction, and all that stuff. When if you know how to mix your own colors, you always go a little bit darker than what the shade of the wall is because as the paint dries, it lightens up.
Okay.
You can go down, you can get some spackle, fix the cracks, fix the pinholes. They've got this, it's like a tape that you can put over the hole. You run your spackle over it so it doesn't fall inside the wall. And then you just sand it down smooth, make sure it's blended, feathered with the wall so it doesn't look like it's been touched, as flat as possible. And then you touch it up with a paint color that's slightly darker than the actual wall color, and it'll dry and it'll blend in.
Yeah. I think I've seen something like that on. We have a version of the show, so you call it the Shark Tank. I think it's Shark Tank, and we have Dragon's Den. It's exactly the same type of show.
Right.
This is my first time seeing you guys. Well, welcome, Sinosk. Don't forget to subscribe to. Am I pointing in the right direction?
Yep. Pointing in the
Yeah.
right direction.
Yes. Just
We haven't crossed the streams today.
not at all. No, not at all. Yeah. So, like I say, I forgot where I was going with that one. So here's a
Thank you,
question for
Fennel.
you.
Go ahead.
Awesome. Yeah, so this question goes back to the original kind of generalization versus specialism. So, Mega, if you were stuck on a deserted island with one other person, would you rather they be a world-class expert in water filtration or someone who was pretty good at 50 different survival skills?
I'd rather have the person that's good at 50 different survival skills.
Yeah. Because I mean, the whole water thing, that's I think that's you're surrounded by salt water, you're gonna die. So these are quite vague. It's,
Well, actually, even though you're surrounded by salt water, you can take the like if you find palm fronds on the island, you can dig down a trench into the beach shoreline, put the palm fronds up top of it to create like a canopy. And as the heat from the sun beats down on it, it evaporates the water out of it. The salt doesn't come up because the salt's heavier than the vapor of the water. It'll collect on the palm fronds and it'll slowly drip down. You can have a little container like an open coconut shell or something to collect the water so you would never die of thirst. There's ways of extracting water out of anything.
Say, I wouldn't have known that. I've seen. You remember that film Waterworld with Kevin Costner? I seen him drink his own piss through a machine. That's just as much as I know. That's it. I've
Yeah.
just realised Beachy's here. Sorry, Beachy.
Hey, BG. Yeah, I mean, he could have easily have just taken and scooped up a bucket of water out of the thing, poured that in his little pump, filtered it out, and got the salt out of it. I mean, the salt itself, you run that through a 5-micron filter, and most of the salt comes out of it.
Okay. I wouldn't have a clue. So, as a mega, sorry, these questions are just absolutely mental. Some of these, right? So, as a mega, because you're a mega, do you ever feel like you're cheating when you use a pre-made part instead of building it from scratch?
No. When I use a pre-made part, a lot of times it actually just simplifies the job, makes it easier on me to finish what I've got to do. I mean, while
Mm,
I can make the parts from scratch because I do have the equipment to do so now, it just saves a lot of time because that one part I can go to the store and buy it for a couple of bucks versus, it might take me $10 worth of electricity to run that part in my machine. Then I have the cost of the material on top of that. So it's actually a savings on some parts, not all.
yeah. Mm. I honestly, I have no idea. When it comes to the likes of DIY, I can YouTube something.
Yeah.
My ex girlfriend of mine, she wanted all of the plug sockets. Because I know our plug sockets are completely different from yours. Like we've got the switches. We have to
Right.
plug something in and then switch it on and switch it off. But she wanted all of those sockets. What stickers, Beachy? I'm sitting here looking for my stickers.
The ones that he uses on his channel.
Right, right. I thought you meant physical stickers. I thought you meant you'd gotten some like stickers made for the channel. Right, I'm with you. I don't think you can do that, can you? Are we talking about the little avatar things? The little
Yeah. Yeah.
right, okay,
Yeah. He can't do
okay.
it on my channel because I'm not monetized yet.
Mm,
I haven't reached that point.
mm.
But with a
Should
little
have
bit
been
of
done.
luck, it'll end up getting to that far.
Oh,
But
should
yeah,
have been done.
it's like the same thing, knowing the medical stuff that I know. I
Hmm.
know enough to be able to treat and give first aid and CPR to people. I'm
Hmm.
not licensed in CPR currently because I haven't had the ability to be able to do it, and I don't think I'd be able to with the wrist the way it is. But I could probably improvise something, you know.
So when you say a licensed CPR, so in America, do you have to be licensed to carry out CPR?
They do recommend that you are licensed to practice CPR because it's always changing and always evolving.
Yeah, yeah, I get that. So, like, obviously, you have to be trained. So, you can be trained in CPR. I'm assuming that, if I was say, for example, if I had never went into the healthcare profession and I'd never done CPR, I've seen it on the TV, but I hadn't done it. Then, and I walk past somebody, the collapse, and I know that they would need CPR, but I wouldn't do it because I wouldn't know how, but here, you're not licensed as such. You can do like what we call a first aid course, which teaches
Yeah,
basic life preserving skills.
yeah,
But
but
yeah, but I know what you mean about the second one. Like we've seen it in the news where somebody collapses, and then I'm not sure if you have done CPR in real time before, but if you haven't broke somebody's ribs carrying out
exactly.
chest compressions, it's not effective. It's not what you
Yeah,
see on the TV,
yeah,
but yeah, there have been cases over in the UK, and I'm sure probably in America. What a nugget! Not a fucking
yep.
nugget, Beachy. Thanks for that, by the way,
And
Mega.
and a lot of people don't realize, when they're using that CPR dummy. I don't know if they use those over there in the UK for training or not, but when you're doing
Yeah,
the
yeah,
chest compressions on them, as
it
you're doing
clicks.
that downward locking
Yeah,
compression and rocking your hips and your upper abdomen, your arms are locked tight. You hear that clicking and cracking noise
yeah,
in the CPR dummy. That's symbolic of the ribs being broken. Lets you
yeah.
know that you're doing it right. And most
Christ
people are
almighty.
like, "Well, I don't want to break somebody's ribs," and I'm like, "Well, if you don't break their ribs, you're not going to get enough compression into the heart to keep that blood pumping."
Yeah, so it's like the golden rule is 5 to 6 centimeters down. That's what you
Yeah,
need. Centimeters? Yes, 5 to 6 centimeters, for the depth.
yeah,
But there have been cases in the UK and I'm sure in America where somebody's went into a cardiac arrest and somebody's
yeah,
started CPR. They broke the ribs. They broke the ribs. They broke the sternum. They brought them back. They've came around. They've been in hospital. They come out of hospital and they fucking sued them.
yeah.
They've sued the person doing CPR because they've caused damage.
Yep. They
So
they're trying
even
over
as a
here to put a law into effect that stops that from happening, actually.
even as a qualified in a registered healthcare professional, we still have to do that basic life preserve. It's just a part. That's something you have to do every 3 years. You've got to do it
Yep.
just to keep up to date. And like Oh, the stories you hear. It's like, and it does me. I am not surprised, when somebody says to me, well, I was walking down the street a few days ago and I found someone collapsed, but I called 999, obviously 911 where you are, called 999, and because I couldn't do it. And I was thinking, well, okay, there's nothing wrong with that, to be
Yeah,
absolutely, it's, oh my God.
yeah. It's
Like,
the ones that see that kind of a situation and they just walk on by and don't bother doing anything that's the problem.
mhm,
You know, and then they got these people that have, the DNRs where it says do not resuscitate, and then they turn
yep,
around and sue the good Samaritan who saved their life. I mean, if I see somebody laying on the ground that needs CPR, I'm not going to dig through their wallet first to see if they're
yeah,
DNR.
mhm, absolutely. And I've had that fucking beachy, crispy Hobbit nugget. You weren't in this morning. There was
I
a
mean,
sorry, I pause that. There was a what was her name, Beachy? Can't remember. Somebody was in Beachy's stream early this morning, and she kept adding names on. So you had started with Nugget, then there was Hobbit, then there was Spicy, then there was Ramen, and it just went on. Luna, that was her name. Luna. I think she'll be good actually. But yeah, sorry, going back.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
absolutely. And
it-
if I was walking down the street, and like you see, so people with DNARs in the UK, you tend to find for most of them, it's those who are very frail, elderly. You know for a fact that CPR isn't going to be effective, and they'll
yeah,
have them. You know, they can either put them into place themselves whilst they have mental capacity, or hospitals and families in collaboration can put it in themselves. They can have a
yeah,
conversation again. But yeah, you're right. If I'm walking down the street and somebody's unconscious, I check the airways, they aren't breathing, I can't find a heartbeat. I am not going to risk. It's built into you. It's automatic, and you would
yeah,
dive straight in and start CPR.
yeah. And it's like
Regardless
with
of.
CPR courses that they give you.
Mhm.
They tell you, find the rib cage at the base of the rib cage and then follow it up to the sternum.
Yeah, yeah,
But they don't tell
yeah,
you anything other than put two fingers where you hit the base of the ribs and then go above that with your chest, and then you can go and start the compressions.
yeah,
And the reason for that being is that xiphoid process that's at the base of the sternum. If you're on that, you could press and it'll snap that off and it'll puncture the heart.
yeah. I think I remember because, like you said, I think. Sorry, I am listening. I think you'd said just a bit earlier there about. Oh God, what was it? Shit. Why can't I remember? It will come back to me. It wasn't important. It'll obviously come back to us. We've done it
Yeah.
again. We've done it again. We're
Lost,
on a topic and we've
lost track of
completely
it.
curveballed off it. Yes,
Yeah.
Crispy Luna. You would have liked her this morning, actually, Mega. It's she was good fun. I'm just looking for where the fuck is it? Right. Okay, here's one. Oh, Beachy's asking a question.
Was that beach? See what I wrote in there? It's a frosty cereal bit. That's my niece Kelsey Beach. She's
Does
my
this
she's
do
my
what I
niece.
think it does? Yeah, it's okay. Right, Mega. So, where did I find it? Bum bum bum. So, continuing with the specialist versus generalist. All right. So, schools push us to pick a major and specialize early in that major. Yeah. So, you pick a major at
Right.
school. So, do you think we're accidentally killing the next generation of great inventors by forcing them to pick a lane too soon?
Yeah. Honestly, I do.
Yeah.
Because I mean, most people when they get out of college or even out of high school, the ones that don't go to college, when
Hmm.
they end their education, they don't bother to actually learn anything else throughout their rest of their life. They pick a field they're comfortable with, they find comfort in it, and they don't want to explore outside that.
Hmm.
But if you can actually take and exercise your brain by learning different things daily, I mean, even if it's learning, you pick up a dictionary and read a few words out of the dictionary to learn definitions of words you've never heard before. It keeps
Yeah.
your brain sharper, it keeps you going. It, as your brain is growing and developing and in early ages of life, the more you learn, the better off you become because you're basically your electrons flowing and all you know, the receptors
Hmm.
in the brain functioning the way they're supposed to be. And you
Hmm.
never give up learning, not until the day you die.
Mm. But I suppose, we do have, I'm not going to use the word underprivileged, but say, for example, and, we don't learn everything. We don't. I think some of us are continuously learning.
Yeah.
My profession, I'm constantly learning. In fact, I've had healthcare assistants or caregivers at work who, like I said earlier, it's their responsibility to make beds, some of the more menial tasks. And they have taught me loads. One of the wisest people I ever met in my job was a healthcare assistant, and he taught me
Yep.
loads. But going back to what you've just said there, to say, for example, that brilliant video, by the way, that you put on with the welding video where you are
Right.
teaching your neighbour kids to weld, do you think, going back to the school system, do you think that's partly the reason? I don't know these kids, obviously. Do you think that's partly the reason why I was never taught to weld? I was never taught to fish. I had a really awful upbringing.
Yeah.
Um, do you think that's part of the reason why why you felt the need to show them to weld?
No, I want to show people how to learn different things just for the simple fact of being, I want people to be more intelligent. I don't want them to just be told, this is all you're about, this is all you can do. Because
Yeah.
I mean, fact reality is, I mean, you've seen it yourself with some of the things you've done, like with your podcast. You had a
Mhm.
curiosity, you went with it, and you turned it into an amazing podcast. You know,
Oh.
it's just people they get to the point where, like, say somebody comes up to you and say, "Okay, you've graduated. This is all you have. This is what you've got,"
Mhm.
and then you accept, "Okay, this is all I'm ever gonna be." They don't question anything, and the best way
Mhm.
to learn is to question things.
Mhm.
Doesn't matter what it is. As long as you have questions in your mind about something, take those questions, plug it into the internet. Don't go by the first thing you see. Just keep digging through and learning because honestly, the internet is just so filled with false information from people that are just trying to dumb down society.
Mhm. Yeah.
And when you set a limit for yourself, you end up becoming like content where you're at. You don't want to pursue anything more and become a greater person.
Mhm.
Like your grocery store clerks, they're happy where they're at. They don't want to be more than a cashier.
Mhm.
They have the potential to be more than that. They're just comfortable where they're at and don't want to take the chance.
Yeah. I mean, I suppose there is a lot of resources out now. When I was saying, sorry, Beachy, I have been such a fucking lazy bastard today. Honestly, I haven't done it yet. I need to get it. It will be sorted by, oh, God, I don't know. It might even be tomorrow now. I know it can't be tomorrow because I'm at work. Fuck. I've been terrible. I tell you what, once I've gotten off, I know. This is the first time I've left it this long. It will be done. It'll get sorted. So I know I need
Yeah.
to give my head a shake.
Matter of fact, while he's there, I gotta adjust my camera because I'm tired of looking like a hobbit myself.
Honestly, like I'm not joking. I keep having to readjust because this dog is laid behind me on the sofa that I'm sat on, and I can't
Yeah.
sit comfortably.
Oh, I get.
But
I mean,
oh,
the fur
honestly,
babies, man.
he's
The
such a
fur babies
child.
are amazing.
Hmm. Yeah, like I say, that ex I was with, and she wanted the plug sockets unwired from where they were taken out, and then she wanted some plug sockets with the USB chargers inside.
Right.
And so I had to pull out all of those from the house, and I was quite impressed that I managed to do it. I know it's such a menial task, but
Yeah.
electricity wise, I'm DIY. But yeah, but there's a lot more resources out there, as the internet unfortunately keeps evolving. But as a child, I wasn't taught any kind of DIY stuff.
Oh, most of the stuff I've learned to do, I wasn't taught as a child either. As far as the welding goes, when I learned how to weld, I actually learned on the job.
Yeah.
I was hired into the company as a parts cleaner, which basically was entry level ground. You know, it was nothing special.
Hmm.
Oh, did we lose them?
No, you didn't. I'm still here.
Okay, but it
Sorry, I
was
keep having. As I'm having this really wonderful conversation, I'm having to like do something else. So
oh, you're fine.
I am listening. I am fully committed. I am here.
Yeah, but
But yeah,
um,
I mean, it is
yeah,
quite sad
learning on the
when.
job.
Mhm. Okay.
Just pick up a welder on my brakes, go over, hold the MIG gun, get the welding hood set up and everything, and just start practicing how to run beads on the material.
Okay.
Um, the schools, they do drag it out a lot more. They teach you about, the materials, the
Hmm.
compositions, how they're made up, what different things you can do to do this or do that. But if you have the
Hmm.
on the job training, you may not know all the technical terms for it, but you know how to do it.
Yeah. Mm. Right. Here's one for you. I'm trying to pick a good one. All right. So. Uh, hold on. I will get to it. Uh,
Beat you
right.
saying you
Okay.
don't know what to do with
Okay.
himself.
Yes. Well, you know what you're going to do with yourself as soon as you're up and sorted. You're going to be screaming. It's exactly what you're going to be doing with yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
Hmm. Right. The 3 a.m. idea. So, do you? Because I've seen your layman configuration that you've made. I've seen your big watch, your guitar, all of these things, which are fucking awesome, by the way.
Thank you.
But so when it comes to other things, like say, for example, mechanical problems. So, do you ever have those moments where a solution to a mechanical problem just clicks whilst you're doing something totally unrelated, like washing the dishes or driving? So, you've got this problem that when you're trying to, your laser machine, that was homemade, wasn't it?
Yeah, my laser, yeah.
Yeah. So, like, did you ever come up with a you're making that? Did you ever, oh, I'm struggling with this bit. How do I do this? Then all of a sudden it clicks whilst you're doing
Yeah.
something unrelated.
Yeah. I started out, I designed it with belt drives, and then as I'm going along, I'm trying to think of how I could, better perform it to where I can make it go a little bit faster or control it a little bit better, more my, minute little bits. Because the belt drive, honestly, it does work, but most people don't realize the rubber belts stretch over time. And I
Okay.
wanted to find a way of stopping that from stretching as quickly as it does. And just thinking about it one day, and I'm like, oh, I could do ball screws. But then I started thinking about it. Now, a ball screw, most of them are like that big around, and they're like
Okay.
heavy duty. And I'm like, I really don't want to use a ball screw because that's going to put a lot more weight on the machine.
Hmm.
So I'm sitting there thinking about it and thinking, and then I realized they actually do make 48-inch long pieces of all thread, which is basically a
Hmm.
metal rod that's threaded for bolts and stuff. And people get them, they cut them down to the size they need, and they'll put a nut on one side, nut on the other, and then they'll have their instant bolt, so to speak.
Okay.
So I was
Huh?
like thinking about it. I'm like, I can actually use that. And they have these little T nut things. It's like a round cylinder with 3 holes on the end. And I can put those on each side of it with a spring in between to make my own. Um, what was the term for it? I'm blanking out on it, but it basically it springs it so that no matter which way it goes, it keeps that tension on that screw all times.
Okay.
Almost like a lock nut. Because you know
Hmm.
yourself, when you put a nut on a bolt, sometimes you can take and you can wiggle it, and the nut will wiggle back and forth on it, even though it's not coming off the threads, it's just
Hmm.
loose. So by putting that on there with a spring between the two T nuts, it pushes tension on both sides of it to keep it so that it's going to lock. So when the thread turns, it's going to pull it the other way or pull it back without any slop in it.
So is that like
It's
a
actually called an
basic?
anti-backlash nut.
So is that your own thing?
It was a thought that I came out with. I mean, I'm sure
Mhm.
other people have done it.
So as opposed to that technology, would you say that was? Okay, so that brings right. Okay, so this next one, right? Perfect. Okay, so which old technology, like a simple lever or a pulley, so something really simple, do you think is still more perfect than any put my teeth in, high tech gadget we have today? So like really old technology, the basics versus things we've got out now. So we'll have laser pointers, etc. Blah blah.
Yeah.
So which old technology, like a simple lever or a pulley, do you think is still more perfect than any high-end tech gadget we have today?
Well, it's kind of a hard one because the laser and a pulley are both handy and different uses for each one.
I
I mean, a
think the
pulley,
laser, yeah, the laser thing was my own words. It was just for it as an example. But
yeah,
yeah, so
'cause, I
like
mean,
simple lever or pulleys versus high-tech gadgets that we have today.
yeah, just simple basic simple basic lever and a simple basic pulley. Because I mean, with a lever, you can get a fulcrum where you can shift the weight, so
Right.
you can either slide it more forward, so you have a longer bar, and less people
Mhm.
have to press down on it because the weight's more concentrated on that longer distance. Allows you to flip over something extremely heavy that you wouldn't be able to do on your own.
Mhm.
And a pulley, it allows you to be able to lift stuff up like a simple human being. I'll say somebody that's like maybe 100 pounds, no
Mhm.
muscles, can lift an engine out of a vehicle by themselves with the pulley system.
Okay.
Whereas if they were to try to pick it up by themselves, they'd never be able to because the engine weighs more than they do.
Right. Okay. Just want to pause for a second, and I wanted to mention this to you before, Mega, because we had a very brief conversation about it. But Beachy, this includes you as well. All right. And I'm on the fence with it. I'm really, really, oh, and I've done this before, but I'm really kind of stuck with it. Oh God! And I think this conversation we're having right now is slowly making my mind up about what to do with it. I think I
Yeah,
know what I'll end up doing.
tell them
Sorry,
BT Combs, they spit that cauliflower cheese out already.
I know, I know. I'm just waiting for Beach to reply to that. I don't know if this is something that should be done like in a three-way video call with us on Discord, possibly.
Yeah, it might be better because that way there you can get the answers right away.
What are you saying no for?
It says us. So I don't know what he's getting the Chinese writing at or whatever that writing is before the U.S.
I've got
Oh,
no,
never mind.
I've got no foreign.
For some weird. Yeah, he said no. I'm gonna have to keep watching the room chat on the bottom screen.
I've got no translation, nothing like that. Oh, right. Okay. I'll just 2 seconds enough with the mega questions. This is fucking awesome. This piece of this, what I'm using this for these questions. Um, oh, I don't know what to do. Okay. I've got a dilemma. I've got a dilemma. So, so like I said earlier, when we're having this conversation about, Beach wants to hear what you're going to say. I'm going to say it. Calm the fuck down. Get spicy on you, motherfucker. So, we had this conversation earlier on about the podcast and the whole Mr. Cauliflower Cheese thing. And regardless of what happens, um, the podcast will always come first, only because it was my. I'm speaking. Don't worry, you're going to hear it. Yeah, so the podcast will always come first. It will because one, it makes money. Two, it's just there. It's my passion, and it's more me than the cauliflower cheese thing. When I started the YouTube thing, it was just Mr. Cauliflower Cheese was just a random name, so I could have access to YouTube to watch things and stuff. So before it was Mr. Cauliflower Cheese, it was the YouTube channel for the podcast.
Mhm.
And what I found was when I'd started the YouTube channel, which was Now That's Not a Very Interesting Podcast, every podcast would be uploaded to it. But then I found a dip in listeners from Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts. There was a dip because more people were listening on YouTube. If people are listening on YouTube, I wasn't getting paid
Right.
for that. I wasn't getting paid for it because the advertisements weren't there. You know, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because the podcast host that I use doesn't supply to YouTube. So yeah, I wasn't getting that.
Right.
But after this conversation, which has been brilliant, because I'm able to, it's almost like the podcast, the nature of the podcast links into what you're doing. So I think I need a drink for this one. It does make sense, Beachy. Does make sense. So do I change the YouTube channel back to the podcast channel? It would mean changing the name back, getting rid of the cauliflower cheese shite, which is it's there, you know, but get rid of that, upload all of the podcast episodes at
Yeah.
I
You already
don't
got the
know.
answer from Beach.
Yeah. I don't know. So it would
I
mean getting rid
mean,
of Mr. Cauliflower cheese and you know I
I
think
would say, as far as I'm concerned, I would say keep your podcast as it is on your streams, the Shopify and
oh
all that stuff,
no. The
and
podcast
just
would still stay there.
leave leave YouTube where it is. You know, don't change
No,
it back
no.
because
The podcast would still stay on Spotify, Amazon. It would be there. That would not change.
yeah.
That wouldn't change. That's always going to be there. But do I get rid of the Mr. Cauliflower cheese and then use YouTube to push the podcast? It just means that I see kind of the payments dip a little bit. Won't change anything.
Well, as far as your YouTube, stay as Mr. Cauliflower Cheese on there. You can still
Mm-hmm.
push the podcast, but instead of actually airing the podcast on YouTube, there's a chance for advertising yourself and say,
It
hey, if this
does.
is the subject we're going to be talking about on this upcoming podcast, don't
Mm-hmm.
describe everything in the podcast, but just tell them we're going to, like you did with the paperclip thing. Tell them, say, the next podcast, we're going to be talking about paperclip, how it came about, what the design was for it, how this came about. If you find
Yeah.
that interesting or want to know more, tune into the podcast and you'll find out, and then
Mm-hmm.
give them your streams you can go to.
Yeah,
And
and I mean, this is why I always say when Beachy, bless your heart, quite kindly pushes the website and the podcast. You know, it's kind of because obviously Mr. Cauliflower Cheese is a complete. It's not affiliated. There's nothing to do with Mr. Cauliflower Cheese on the podcast. You know, I think I'm just waiting for an email from somebody one day to say, what's Mr. Cauliflower? Like, I went on this podcast thinking it was going to be this guy who thinks he's a cauliflower, fucking, effing and blinding and what the fuck's going on with the world? But really, I've just come into a podcast and it's completely different.
Yeah. But I mean,
So
you can keep the two separate. I mean,
yeah, and that's what I've always strived to do. So
yeah, because Mr. Cauliflower Cheese is more a representation of you than it is your podcast.
and this is why I haven't, because I know that when you set up your YouTube for live streaming wanted, it asks you to put a website. And that's the reason I haven't. It's only because this is completely unaffiliated with that. And
Yeah,
look
if you
at that
put Mr.
invaded.
Cauliflower Cheese in a vat of chicken nuggets at McDonald's and somebody takes a bite out of it, they're going to end up spitting it out and saying, this ain't chicken.
Have you seen how chicken nuggets are made at McDonald's? Absolutely
Oh, yeah.
disgusting.
Pink slime.
Fucking vile. Right, I am still here. I'm going to quickly, literally, I'm going to be less than a minute. I just need to go up those stairs because I need to go piss out a wee, as we say. Just give me 2 moments.
Hit
The
the gym
dog will
and
probably
sweat out.
keep you company.
Hit the gym and sweating out a little bit.
Literally, it's all I need to do. Give us 2 moments. I'm sure you
Hobbit
chat
nugget.
Honestly, that Hobbit thing was fucking hilarious. It's because I think when I had the camera like here,
Yeah. That's why I
and I'm
tipped my camera down. I didn't want to feel like a hobbit anymore.
and I don't think Beachy got it at first because he's not a Lord of the Rings fan.
Yeah.
So never mind. Right, give me 2 moments. The dog will keep you company. Ooh. Ooh.
Yeah, it's actually a pretty interesting conversation this morning.
It really was. It
Mr.
really was.
Cauliflower, he he wanted to pick a topic instead of doing like we did the other day and going everywhere. I'm actually enjoying it. I've never had anybody questioning me about different things like that before. It's actually quite fun.
I mean, they're just, I'm shouting from the kitchen. They're just, I mean, they're random questions, but I mean, it kind of fits your, your persona perfectly. It's great.
Yeah, and doing all the different things, it has saved me a lot of money over the years. I've had situations where I've had materials laying around that I could do stuff with and just went ahead and made stuff out of the materials.
Yeah.
Like my the slingshot rifle that I made. That thing's dead on accurate. All I did was take a piece of 2x4 and cut it in the shape of a handle for a rifle. I did a little notch in the end of it so that I could have everything lined up perfectly, so nothing would rub or scrape. Uh, Chisel set to make a little hole in the back of it because at the time I didn't have a mortising bit or a mortising setup where I could actually drill a hole out in a square hole. I don't know, man. There was like 27 people when the chat started, and now it's just me, you, and Mr. Cauliflower.
Well, that is 27 people who are sadly missing out on a fucking amazing conversation.
Yeah, and the sad part is they could really learn a lot about it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. 100%. 100%.
Here's a question for you, being in the medical field, and I do this to everybody I know that's a medical professional. Are you ready for this one?
Absolutely. I am
Can you
still here.
name the 12 cranial nerves?
No, I cannot.
You can't?
Mm-hmm. No, because I don't work in neurology. I'm a sad, lowly nursing practitioner.
I worked as a
Wait,
massage. Well, I learned massage therapy, and one of the things we learned was the 12 cranial nerves. I
okay.
learned it back in 2006, 2007. Let me get a piece of paper here so I can do my little, because I can try to do it in my head, but I know I'm going to botch it up. But just to show you that it's blank.
I mean, at one point, I will have touched upon this. Like I say, it's been 15 years. Oh my God, with cauliflower. What's oh my God? Yeah, at one point I would have touched upon this, but not not in the nursing. I'm surprised that massage therapists learn that.
Yeah, I'm working on it. I'm trying to remember if I get these right. I used to get them flipped backwards, but oftentimes I tried to make it to where it was right.
Because I'm in the beachy, I'm in the process of trying to do other things at the same time. And I've only got a pajama top on. I'm not wearing anything below. That's a fucking joke. That's a joke, obviously. I can disappear if I want to. Look. Woo! Wee! 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 My fucking phone, motherfucker! Let's put that retouch on. Free. I actually have got pajama bottoms on. The hours have went nowhere today. Today has just went so fast.
And the last one.
I could probably remember it if I was like given an acronym.
Okay, the acronym OOO, to touch and feel very good velvet. Aha. Are you ready for the answers of what I have written down on here? And if you want, you can check it and verify if you want.
I know,
Remember
no, God, no.
this is
Believe
knowledge
me,
from
I trust you, mate.
2006. You got
There's
the
not many. Go for it.
olfactory, optic, oculomotor, trochlear, trigeminal, abduction, spatial, vestibulocochlear, glossopharyngeal, vagus, auditory, and the hypoglossopharyngeal.
So I could have probably
But
named.
the auditory is actually the spinal accessory. I made a mistake on that one.
Mhm. I could have. I mean, obviously, the basics, like, we have what we call olfactory fatigue, which is one of those random full fun facts that. But yeah, I would have touched upon that possibly when I was doing. I mean, it took 4 years to get my nursing degree, and then like another 2 years after that to get to ENP status. But yeah, no, I cannot wait to have you on the
But yeah,
podcast.
it was amazing though when I took that class in massage therapy and they taught us all this different stuff. And I'm sitting here thinking to myself, I'm like, good God, if I'd known it was that in depth, I'd have just gone into nursing.
Should have done.
And
Well,
then I'm finding out a lot of these nurses don't even know any of this stuff.
no, not with that brain maker, not nursing. Dr. Maker could have been a TV series. Oh,
It'd be like Dr. House.
yeah.
Which
Oh,
was funny. Here's
it.
the thing: with all that knowledge I picked up in massage therapy, we used to watch House, and everything he does on there is an
Mhm,
actual real life disease. It's just they're so far off and so far buried in the textbooks, most people don't think about them.
mhm. Honestly, I mean, because I am a grumpy bastard. This month I got Employee of the Month at work. How that happened is absolutely beyond me because I have got no patience for patients who are they're not willing to cooperate. And it
Yeah,
really fucking. I've had so many warnings at work, so many, because I just can't be arsed with people,
yeah,
especially relatives of patients. So when I
nope,
watch House, I'm thinking, oh, that's okay. I can say that now because Dr. House does it. But yeah,
yeah. I was
Beach
even
has
telling
something.
Beachy last night because he whacked his funny bone. I said, "You'd be surprised. It's actually not a funny bone. It's not even tied to the humerus.
It's
It's the
nope.
olecranon process right here. It's the olecranon process. It's actually attached to the ulna.
Oh no, yes, you beat us to it. I was going to say yes, it
And
is.
the olecranon process sits inside a hole that's in the humerus called the olecranon fossa.
It is. Beach has something important to say. Cauliflower, you come to the US. I've told you this, Beach. I've got the money. I've got money. It's there to use. I'm a saver. But if I went to the US without Gemma, shit, shouldn't say that word on YouTube in case anyone's listening. Mrs. Cauliflower Cheese, she would kill me. So it would have to be us three plus Mrs. Cauliflower Cheese.
Yeah, that's fine.
And it would be a case of trying to work it out because of work.
And of course, Beach would have to have Mrs. Beach with him as well. That would be
What's
kind of
that?
awkward not having your spouses.
No, that would work perfectly because we could send Beach's
Yeah, the
wife
ladies could
and
have conversation
Cauliflower's
with
wife
each
off
other
somewhere.
and while we're doing our thing. Yeah.
Exactly. Send them off. I want to find. I know you guys don't drink, but we can find a bar. You guys can have some coke. I shall find somewhere which sells that, and yeah.
Heck, it just had an idea popped into my head. I mean, if the three of us, I mean, I don't know if Beachy has any like podcasting material or anything like that, but maybe we could find something on there that we could do a three-man podcast on like the Joe Rogan does on his show where he's got a bunch of different people all in the same thing and they're talking about a different topic every show.
There is.
And we could do that on a video stream on a
Oh,
podcast. That would be amazing.
don't put ideas in my head because when someone puts an idea in there, I need to follow it through until I come up with some sort of a solution. Don't do that. Don't do that because now I want that to happen. Even if it's not in the same room.
Yeah, I mean, think about that. Medical professional, a jack of all trades, and a librarian all in the same.
No, let's just rewind there just for a moment. I think when we were talking about generalist versus specialist, I don't think jack of all trades can apply to you. I think from what we're all gathering, it's master of all trades. You
No,
know,
I'm not a master of anything. Honestly, I'm not. There's always going to be somebody out there that knows more than I do. I just have a lot of deep analytical thinking going on. And if something strikes my interest, I'll keep digging and digging and digging and learning about it until I'm satisfied with the knowledge that I've gained. I don't ever
And I
learn
think,
everything about it.
yeah, I think the difference with us being that you're, say, for example, when I'm talking about the podcast, it's things which are, thinking about do snails snore? I think that was an episode. It was an episode I put out. Do snails soar? Did they make a sound? Things like that. My thoughts and learning is something that can't be applied to real life. Whereas you, motherfucker, yours does. Yours can.
Yeah, but I mean, a lot of the stuff and thought process I have don't really apply to real life either.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've got knowledge in my head that most people wouldn't even think of knowing. Like, I mean, if you get an ant intoxicated, it's always going to fall over on its right side.
Say again. Go back there just for a second.
If you get an ant drunk, intoxicated, they always fall over on their right side.
Why?
Don't know.
Oh, that is
Somebody had
so
done a
getting fucking
study.
research. That is so
Somebody had
getting
done a study
research.
on it, and they literally, I don't know if that somebody paid to have that study done. I read an article about it, and they said every ant that they got intoxicated and drunk with liquor and alcohol always fell over on its right side when it was drunk.
That is so getting research.
But they never went into details on why it did that, just that it did.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, I forgot the name of the effect. It's that swirl effect that you have in the drains and stuff. They say in the
Oh,
southern hemisphere it's different than it is in the northern hemisphere, but I talked to somebody who lives in Australia and they said no, that's not true.
yeah. Okay. We have there's a TV show in the UK called Mythbusters. Or is it American?
I
It's
think it's in both.
Mythbusters.
I think
Ah, yeah.
it's everywhere.
They look at things like that. It's quite interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. When I grew up as a kid, we used to watch this TV series called Mr. Wizard's World, and I was a junkie on that show. I loved to watch that show. I mean, it was like my addiction because he would always take different things and show how things worked and what like an experiment that you'd never see anybody do is they'd take a piece of metal and put a straw on the end of it with a string. And then he'd
Mm-hmm.
take a torch and heat up that piece of metal to show that the straw would actually roll and roll the string up as the metal was heated. And then when you let the heat off of it, as it cooled, the straw would roll back again because it shrinks.
Oh.
Yeah. It's not much of a change, but metal expands as it's heated,
Mm-hmm.
which most everything expands as it's heated except for ice cubes. Ice cubes are the opposite. Water actually expands as it's frozen, not heated. Water contracts when it's heated, which is weird.
Mm-hmm.
So if you
Right.
take an ice cube and superheat it, it's going to shrink. But you take a piece of steel, it's the same size as the ice cube, and it's actually going to get a little bit bigger. It's not
Okay.
much. It's only a few hairs, but it's weird how it works that way.
Did you see Beach's comment there?
My live last night, yeah, I did a live stream with Beach. I played Uno and a lot of the people that come in there. They got one warning and they didn't respect it. They were booted, and a lot of them got booted last night.
Mm. Well, unfortunately, with great technology comes great responsibility, or irresponsibility, I suppose.
Yeah.
Mm.
Like the topic of the AI thing they're talking about, with all these AIs coming out. I says, yeah, we got enough automatic idiots in the world. We don't need another one that's computer
Very
generated.
true. Right. Okay. Question time. Question time. Let's find a good one. These are all personalized to your personality, if you like.
Sure.
Oh, there's one here which ties in with, I think it must have been one of the first episodes that I released on the podcast. Actually, no, that's a boring one.
No such thing as a boring question.
Well, this is very true. It's like there's no such thing as a stupid question.
Yeah.
Bless you, Peachy. We've done up. Well, I've done nothing. I've lost it. Where was it? Where the hell did it go? Oh man. Okay, this one's all right. So, Mega, when you're deep in a project, so one of your projects that you've done in the past, do you lose track of time? What's the longest you've gone working on an invention? Sorry, my accent makes me talk too fast, so I'm conscious of it. So I need to slow down my speech. When you're deep in a project, do you lose track of time? What's the longest you've gone working on an invention without realizing you missed a meal? It doesn't have to be a meal, but I think it's
Oh,
just general.
that's kind of a tough one because honestly, I'll snack in between while I'm working on something. I'll have a little bit of candy or something there, and I'll just, if I feel a little hungry while I'm working on something, pop a piece of candy in the mouth, usually like a cream saver, a lifesaver, something sweet, and
So do
keep
you find
working on it.
yourself like completely like just tunnel visioned into that project where you can't stop? Well, there's a good one for you as well, because I'm terrible. Like if I come across a problem that's not that I've been working on, but like say for example something at work. So I don't know, for example, ward round. We have a ward round twice a week with the doctors, and they come round.
Yeah,
Well, mine's twice a week. We'll have one every day, but mine's twice a week. And when I don't know, we'll get a patient come in and the doctors are stumped. It's gone to consultants, and I find myself as a lowly, humble nurse working on this, thinking, oh, this can be fixed. Have you ever done that where you get like a dog with a bone?
yeah. If somebody throws
Yeah.
an idea out there, and even though I'm not one of the most important people, I'll sit there and I'll spitball ideas through my head trying to figure out different things, and then when one sticks, I'll present it to them.
Hmm. So, do you ever find that with anything that you've made?
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
Okay.
The guitar I was working on actually, I was actually going for a mirrored finish look on it, and spitballing, trying to figure out how I could figure out how to make it actually have a mirrored finish. And then I did some digging, thinking, looking at different things, and I found this paint that worked out beautifully to give it a mirrored finish. But then I ruined that with a spray of lacquer over the top of it. But the reality having it, the way it worked out and turned out because of the way it lifted the chrome spray off of it, it gave it the look of like somebody had dug a piece of metal out of the ground and then ground all the rust off of it, keeping it shiny in some spots and still had the little black pits in it like it's rusty.
Hmm.
I've literally had somebody ask me where I found a piece of metal that big to make a guitar, and I'm like, "That's not metal. That's all wood."
Okay. Mm.
But sometimes
So,
even the biggest mistakes work out.
yeah. Mm. So, do you find yourself, because, like I said, I know I've seen these projects, so the likes of, I know I've just said it earlier on as well, the puzzle box. Sorry, I can't even say puzzle box. I know that was its name, but the layman configuration.
Yeah, the
I've got
Toymaker
this.
Cube,
Yeah,
which I
the
almost saw.
layman. Hmm?
This one.
Stop cock teasing me. Put that away. Because I want that box. I want it. I need that box. Sorry, Beachy. Welcome back, Beach.
Yeah,
Forgot where I
welcome
was
back.
going with that. So do you find yourself where, so for example, with me, I used to be a massive reader, and obviously that's when I was younger, I loved reading. Then obviously when I went to
Mhm.
university, after being in the forces, um, I needed to read, and I do love reading, but I rarely ever read like fiction books now, novels. It's very, I can't remember the last time I did, but when I did, I was a book jumper, so I would read a book. I'm a little bit bored, put that one
Yep.
away. Oh, I'll pick this one up. And I would jump from book to book. So do you find you do that with projects?
Yeah. Any given time, I'll have like 5 or 6 different projects running at the same time.
Mm,
I can't seem to keep a focus on one thing because if I'm working on something and then an idea strikes me, I'm like, oh, I can do that with this. I gotta stop what I'm doing on that one, go do the other one that I was working on, so I don't forget the idea that popped into my head
uh-huh.
because I do forget.
And do you
But
think
yeah,
that, does that affect the, God, I feel like a fucking interview. I'm so sorry. I just thought this would be a good idea. Do you think that affects the quality of your um,
The quality of
projects.
work? No,
Yeah, the
not at
projects.
all.
Yeah.
Not at all. Because when you step away from something that you've got your eyes focused on, it and go to something else, by the time you get back to the one that you were working on, you get a new perspective of what you were doing, and you could look at it and say, "Well, okay, this don't look right. I shouldn't have done this. I'll have to do this to fix it or to make it look better." So, being able to
See,
jump between different projects, you can improve on the ones that you've been working on.
see, that's a good answer because not that I'm in any way, shape, or form an inventor or a maker. I'm terrible with, kind
Hey,
of.
Cap, welcome to the stream.
Oh, it's Cap. Hello.
Go ahead, though. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I just wanted to greet
No,
Cap.
absolutely not. I think we all go to bits when the Cap appears. But yeah, where was I going with that? I tend to. Yes, Beachy. Hello, Cap. You all right? I think this might be the first time Cap's seen my face. I'm not too sure.
Maybe. I don't remember seeing him in any of the live streams that you've done.
And again, people, I am so sorry. I keep having to cancel the video. I'm still pottering about. So my apologies.
No, you're fine. We can still hear your voice, so it's all good.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah. It's just I kind of. I think we
And
initially
you've
said
got the
40.
cauliflower cheese on there, so that helps.
There he is, Mr. Cauliflower cheese or nuggets or fucking bread, whatever you want to call it. I forgot what I was going with that. Yeah, so I tend to the whole book thing. I jump from one thing to another.
Yeah.
And what did I say? What we're talking about? Because we've done it again.
Yeah. Well, you were asking me about the projects and stuff, jumping from one project to another.
Yeah.
But
Again,
if
that
you
one.
focus on one thing too long, you end up getting what I call it tunnel vision because you're so
Yes.
focused on it.
So when you finish a project, so again, I am not on your level for kind of we don't kind of work on the same thing. So say for example, when I was at uni, my dissertation took me 2 years. So I started 2 years prior, which is the average time, and I would complete a certain part of it, and then I would
All
think
right.
that can be better. So I would try and fix that bit, and then try. I know perfectionism. That's what they call it. Is it the same? Say, for example, your laser machine. It's complete. It's done. It's fixed. It's done. It's ready to run. And then you think, did you ever think, I can actually, if I tweak this bit, it would be a bit better. Oh, it's sorted. Shall I tweak that bit? Tweak that bit. Tweak that bit.
Yeah. Any machine that you build, you're always going to be tweaking it, especially with a prototype. You find different things that you could say, oh, like when I put this together, I didn't include end stops on it. But then I thought about it. I'm like, yeah, I could put end stops on it, and then all of a sudden now I can home it in and have the same zero origin. So if I have any mishaps during it, I can start the program from all over again.
Yeah.
And now I have the option of where I can actually upgrade my CPU on it and be able to, instead of restarting the entire program, wherever the mistake happened, I can trace it back into the program and restart it from that point. But I
Yeah.
have to instill the end stops first.
Okay. I'm not going to
And
pretend to understand all of that.
oh,
But,
when I first started it, I didn't know nothing about lasers. I didn't know nothing about G code or any of that stuff. But I set myself out to actually learn about it, read up on it, figure different things out, and then the basic design. I was looking at my 3D printer, and I'm like, if I made that bigger of a frame, I could control it the same way using the same G code and the same kind of programming. And another aspect of looking at it is the kind of software that you're going to use. There's some software out there that's so easy to use, anybody can use it. But then you have other programs where they want to charge you like $400 or $500 a year, and it's so complex that you're sitting there for maybe the first year of subscription trying to figure out how to work it, and then you have to pay for another year after that to actually start using it for what you want to do.
Okay. Sorry, Cap. I didn't know
Yeah,
about your brother. I'm sure I didn't know about your brother. I'm so sorry.
yeah, glad to know he's stable, Captain.
Yeah, indeed. Again, I know I've said this before when certain things have been happening. There's nothing much if not at all, there's anything I can do. But
Yeah.
both of my thoughts. Luke's in the house.
I mean, even with the medical knowledge and stuff that I have, I don't want to be one of them type of people that turns around, and people start thinking, so, well, what's he doing over there? I know he knows science. I know he knows medical and stuff like that. Is he making clones in the garage? you know, I don't have that kind of knowledge.
Yeah, that's one thing I've always avoided doing as well. And I'm not having a dig at anyone, but like, and I've met people like this on different platforms. So, say for example, during COVID, I worked through COVID, obviously, because of my profession. For me and other my colleagues, it was just another day in the office. It
Yeah.
was a bit harder, but we just got on with it. So when everybody else was holed up at home, we just went to work like normal, you know. But when I was finished, so at the time I wasn't in a relationship, and I would come home. So for me, so my outlet was I used to play Red Dead Redemption on the Xbox online,
Okay.
and I met some great people. Pardon me. And we used to use a Discord server, and obviously meeting different people. I met so many nurses,
Right.
mostly nurses, who would give medical advice over the internet to people I hadn't met. And I was thinking, you can't do that. Like seriously, like you can't.
Yeah.
You can't do that because one, these people playing this game or whatever we're doing at the time don't know that you're a nurse. You know what I mean? Like seriously. But yeah, that's one thing that really grinds my gears is if you're talking to somebody and they say, "Oh, I've got this wrong with me," my relative's got this wrong, blah blah blah, and then they start giving advice.
Yep.
And some people are quite, not savvy about it, and they'll think, oh, that's great, I'll take that advice. And I'm thinking, don't fucking do it. There could be anybody.
Yeah.
But
And the other thing with the medicals, and I know this from my own experiences and from my classes in the massage therapy, when you go into a doctor, you don't sit there and just go like this here and say, yeah, I got this little rash here. What do I do about it? If you put lotion on, you got to tell them that you use the lotion and then the rash from them out. Or, if you've been through the woods on a hike recently, you got to let them know that. Cause I mean, it could be poison oak, poison sumac,
mhm.
poison
Yeah,
ivy. You don't know. And if you omit any details, they can't give you an accurate diagnosis and they'll give you a misdiagnosis information. And then you'll be upset because the medication ain't working.
yeah, I think for me, like, just going back again, I just think for me it was a little bit. It's more so people who you meet on the internet, and I'm not saying people are lying, but to just go off somebody's word that you've met and they say, I do this in the medical profession, I do this, and even if I was talking to, I don't know what the ranks are like within the medical field in America, but the highest pretty much anybody can go is like consultant slash professor. So when I was in hospital, I had a professor of neurology come to me because so I spent 3 months in the hospital
Right.
about 4 years ago, and my condition wasn't rare, but the doctors couldn't pinpoint what was going on. So they
Yeah.
brought a professor in, and he came in from London, and that's a long way. So I'm in Newcastle in the UK, which is just short of Scotland, and London is down here. So they flew him in and everything and blah blah. But then when you on Discord, video game groups, and you've got all these people coming in as friends and whatnot, and
Mhm.
they are, offering advice. I'm like, fuck me.
Yeah.
It took a long time for me to get where I am. So you get registered nurses, then you get nurse practitioners, or ANPs, advanced, and that's where I am. And it took a lot of training. But I still, knowing that I am legit, would never give anybody medical advice. What if somebody hopped into this group now and said, "Oh, I've got A, B, C, D wrong with me," and I knew for certain what was going on, right? I certainly wouldn't turn around and say, "This is what's wrong with you." I would be turning around saying, "You need to go see your doctor."
Yeah.
It really winds me up.
Well, I've actually had some people ask me different things about what they had going on, and they tell me their signs and symptoms, and I tell them, I said, "There's a possibility it could be this. You need to go to the hospital to confirm if it is that." I always tell them, "Go to the hospital. I'm not a medical professional.
Yeah.
Just because I have the knowledge doesn't give me any bearing or any right to make a diagnosis of my own."
Mhm. It's
You know?
like, so my in-laws, so my direct family, so my parents died when I was 13 years old, and I was an only child, and I didn't know my extended family. So now there's me,
Yep.
and then my family or my in-laws.
Yeah.
So Mrs. Cauliflower, I have to say that. I don't like saying her real name on streams. So my in-laws, so Mrs. Cauliflower, her mum, her sisters, her brother-in-laws, and they're amazing. They're an amazing family. And literally, it maybe is every other day, they will
Yeah.
contact you. I'll get a message, and they'll Gemma will say, "Oh, sorry, I've just done it again, Gemma." So the missus will say to me, "Oh, my sister's just text. Can you have a look at this?" I'm like, "I'm not a fucking doctor. I'm not a doctor. Like, what do you think this is? What do you think the situation
Yeah.
is?"
My
You
mom used
know?
to do that to me all the time. My dad one day he got out of bed and he's got this real sharp pain right in the middle of his lower back.
Hmm.
And my mom looks at me and she's like, "What do you think it is?" And I was like, "Well, when did the pain start?" And she's like, "He
Yeah.
woke up with it and he's having trouble going pee." I said, "Well," I said, "odds are likely he's got a kidney stone. He needs to go to the doctors and have it looked. They're
Hmm.
the only ones that can diagnose it." I said, "But as far as I'm concerned, it sounds to me like a kidney stone. He needs to go to the hospital. If he don't, it's going to get worse."
Yeah.
Well, he argued with me and told me I don't know nothing, so I brought him to the hospital, over to the ER. They did an ultrasound on him to see, take a look at his kidneys to try to rule that out. The doctor comes back in, my dad's sitting there, and I said, "So, doc, what is it? What's he got wrong with him?" He said, "Well, he's got 3 big kidney stones in his left
Hmm.
kidney." And then my dad looks at me and he goes, "Shut your damn mouth. You ain't no damn doctor." I was like, "But I told you what it was. I told you to go get the help. You kept saying no. And look, you're here, you're getting help." And I was right.
And I'm not
If he'd
saying that,
ignored me and not gone to the hospital, he could have ended up in worse serious condition and ended up having to have surgery to have him removed.
and I'm certainly not saying that, people's opinions aren't right, but my concern is that people can be talking to anybody, and even though we are
Yeah.
right, but never mind. Anyways, sorry, Cap. What does LMBO stand for, by the way? What's LMBO?
Laughed my butt off.
Ah, okay. What kind of condition? What's nurse syndrome? I'm not too sure.
That's
And
Cap.
I have
He's addicted to anybody that's in a nurse's outfit, especially the female variety.
ah.
He likes the candy stripers.
Right. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, I've just got that.
Hey,
Right.
Ridge.
You could just get yourself. What nurse? I tell you what. That's the thing as well with nurse. We'll call it nurse syndrome. And again, people who have just jumped in, I am so sorry. I'm having to stop the video and just talk because I'm busy at the same time. But nurse syndrome. There's not many good-looking nurses in UK. There's a few, but some of the nurses that I know, yeah, they're not good looking. And what's Elisa syndrome? Elisa? Who's Elisa?
I have no idea. Oh,
Cap?
Alyssa is one of the girls that was in Beachy's channel.
Oh, okay. That's right.
Beachy's
Beachman, I
working
thought
on something important.
I can't. I'm pottering around the
He's
house.
got to get it done. He does like me. He'll bounce from one thing to the other. I
It's
know where
either
he's coming from. He's working on a project that he's got to work on because he's on a time
Beachy.
constraint.
Yeah, it's either I do this or my podcast episode does not get published tonight.
And there you go,
Uh,
Beach. You won't be able to get his next podcast until
mm.
next week.
And if I keep doing this all the time, yeah, I don't like that whole I keep disappearing thing. Ridge is in. Hello, Ridge. I hope you're okay.
But yeah, getting back to the medical thing, I always tell everybody, you know, if you're going to ask me, I can tell you what it might be, but I'm not going to be definitive on the answer because the only one that can do that is the actual professionals at the doctors, the ones with the
Mm.
PhDs.
Yeah.
I can give the advice, but if you don't take it, that's on you. I'm not
Mhm.
diagnosing it. I'm just telling you what the problem, what it possibly could be.
Mhm.
You know,
Mhm.
I mean, like I used to get onto my mom so bad about it because she would omit things to tell the doctor. And I turned around and I literally yelled at my mother in the doctor's office because not being mean, but to make her listen and understand you cannot hide anything from the doctor. You have to divulge all information. I told her, I said, it don't matter. I said, if you fart sideways and you've never done that before, that's a symptom.
Yeah.
I said, if you sneeze and it sounds funny, that's a symptom. I mean, you know what I mean? I mean, you could have a runny nose that all of a sudden stops up and then get nosebleeds, and then that stops up, and you don't know what it is. I mean, you could have just a cold, you could have had a busted capillary, or you could have a sinus infection.
Mhm.
There's so many things that it could be that unless you tell them all the issues you're going through, they can't pinpoint an exact diagnosis. 'Cause one little thing can change the diagnosis from being a sinus infection to just an allergy.
Yeah. Mm. No, I get that. Sorry, I'm just looking at these comments. What you can beach cauliflower got the cool cheese man behind him. See, it's right. Okay, just so everyone's aware. Hold on. Right. Okay, my hand isn't working there. That is a cauliflower. So say for a cauliflower floret covered in cheese. That makes sense. No, does that not make sense to anybody?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
We joke about it
No
though.
podcast.
I
Well, yeah,
mean,
of course we can.
it's like the old religious joke they used to talk about nuns. They're always, if they had to be an animal, they were a bird of prey.
Ah, just got that. That's very good.
Yeah,
And that
it was an
reminds
old
me.
Benny Hill joke.
That reminds me of an old joke. It's old, and it's I'm not sure if it's where you are, but there are two nuns. Mega, there's two nuns. Yeah, nuns,
Okay.
and they are lying on a beach, and a streaker runs past, fully naked. One of the nuns had a stroke. The other one couldn't reach.
Mm,
No, okay, okay.
yeah, almost as bad as that one I heard a few weeks ago. Two priests getting ready to take a shower, disrobed and everything to get in the water, and then realize there's no soap. So the one priest turns around and says, "No problem. I'll go ahead and go get it." He goes, "We're the only ones here, so I can just run to my room real quick, grab the bars of soap, and be back." On his way back, these three nuns popped around the corner and he panics. So he freezes and just locks himself up like a statue at the end of the hallway with the two bars of soap in his hands. Well, as the three sisters get ready to pass by, they look over and see he's naked. And one of them turns around and grabs him by the junk just to feel. And she gives it a tug. And he drops one of the bars of soap. She turns around and she looks at her other sister. She's like, "This is so cool. It's so lifelike. And it's a soap dispenser." So the second nun reaches over and grabs his junk and gives it a couple of yanks. And he drops the other bar of soap. And the third sister turns around and she sits there and she's like, "Well, they got two bars." So she's sitting there and she's jerking on it, yanking on it, yanking on it, yanking on it. And all of a sudden he has an orgasm and leaves it all in her hand. And she turns around, she looks down at it, she goes, "Check this out. It's even a lotion dispenser."
Oh, dear God. That's disgusting. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So we came in here to discuss an interest that was related to Mega, and now we're talking about fucking. Right. Okay.
Jokes. They're all jokes.
Joke. No, of course. Absolutely. Right. So we came in here and we were discussing specialist versus generalist.
Yep.
Right. So
I
who
mean,
doesn't
I'm
want
a
to?
generalist, so um
Absolutely.
anything that I can't handle that's beyond my knowledge, I'll send that to the professionals.
I
But
very much doubt it. I very much doubt it because some of these answers that you're throwing back at me are right. Okay, here's one for you. What is the one tool you own that you spent way too much money on, but you've only actually used it once, or if not at all?
mm,
Hmm.
that's a hard one because actually I use just about every tool that I've got.
Have you not got a tool that 2 moments? GM, welcome in GM. GM.
Yep, I see him, Beach. As long as he behaves himself, he can stay. Any comments or crudeness, he's out.
I can't remember seeing GMs. Oh, Beachy's got his fingers going. He's
And
ready.
and
He's
BT,
ready.
if he does make any crude comments, it will be in Uno. There won't be a second chance. So I'll give him the chance to behave on my channel.
Okay, and we will let Beachy sort that one out. So what was I saying? Yeah, so one tool that you've spent way too much money on, or you've spent money on, but you've only used it once. Is there anything that you've needed that you've bought, which
That's what I'm trying to think about. I mean, every tool that I've ever purchased, I've always put to good use,
okay.
and a lot of them show the usage on them because they've been used so much. Um, like I've got a coping saw that I use once in a while. I would say that's probably the rarest tool that I use is a coping saw. I've got a Dremel tool that I use occasionally on different things. I've got a jeweler's table saw that I use when I'm doing like mini intricate like decorative pieces. Um, shoot, trying to think here. I will say probably the least used item in my house right now, as far as I mean, it's a tool, but it's not really a tool. It's an oven. I've got one of those big glass top ovens, and I hardly ever use the oven portion of it because I have one of those Emerald um, all-in-one grills. It's big enough to hold a small Cornish game hen, or actually, it'll hold two Cornish game hens and on a rotisserie inside of it.
Mhm.
Whenever I bake muffins or anything, or bake, you know, cupcakes or whatever I'm doing, I can actually throw it all in that little oven, and it actually saves on power.
Yeah.
Hey, Father Bard, how you doing, buddy? Awesome to see you here today. Beachy, this guy right here, your Bard, I recommend his channel. You got to see him. He's awesome. He provides spiritual entertainment in the morning, and I tell you what, I watch him every morning and interact and talk with him over a cup of coffee. He's got an awesome personality. He's a really great guy. So, I mean, I recommend checking out his channel.
And
It's booming. He's going up. Yeah, he's a really good guy.
I will also your board. I will head over and once this is done, subscribe.
We're doing good, Jack. We're doing good. We're just discussing. Um, Mr. Cauliflower's been asking me questions about different things and getting my opinions on things. I think he had one more question he wanted to ask.
I
Did
literally
you?
I said I think we agreed 45 minutes for this stream.
Yeah, we're on an
We're now
hour and a half now.
123.
But it's true what they
Okay,
say.
so
Time flies when you're having fun.
absolutely 100%. So have you got a workshop, Maker? Do you have a workshop at home that you kind of primarily
Um, I actually don't have a workshop. I work wherever I can have people put my equipment for me because with my wrist being so messed up, I got to get
Mhm.
people to help me out. Right now, I've got a desktop CNC that's sitting on my kitchen counter. I've got a lathe that's on the
Okay.
back side of the kitchen counter. I've got tools out in the shed, tools in my bus. Um, I was actually trying to convert my bus over to a mobile workshop, and I ended up having to put that on hold for now. But I'm
Okay.
eager to get it finished up. I just got to get the help to be able to do it because with my wrist being messed up, and my knee being messed up, I can't stand for long, and I can't pick up anything heavy.
Okay. Right. So I'm just getting involved with this little bit of drama in the comments with Jack.
Yeah, he's behaving himself, so
Good.
I'll allow them to stay.
It's what we like. We like chilled. We like
Yeah.
chilling.
I mean, it's an
Um,
educational channel. That's what I'm trying to put out. Teach people how to do things. And
mhm.
well, I was going to whip out the cube again, but I won't do that because I tell you
Which
what, close your eyes for a second, and I'll show it to them. This is one of the things that I put together on my laser. Mr. Cauliflower is dying to get a hold of it from the movie Hellraiser. I enjoyed putting that together and uh, doing the engraving on my laser. It was a lot of fun.
big tease.
Go
Right.
ahead, Captain. Ask away.
Just waiting for Cap's question. And then
Yeah.
going back to what you just said about teaching people, there's a good question here. Whilst Caps, whilst he's typing that, this is the one to get your brain around. You're on about teaching people. So, if you had to teach a complete beginner, if you had to teach a complete beginner one, right, a one and
Right.
only one skill, what would it be?
Only one skill.
Yeah,
That's
it
that's kind of
actually
hard.
it
That's
actually
kind of hard to
says,
think on.
yeah, it actually says if you had to teach a complete beginner one and only one skill to survive the next 50 years, what would it be?
To be able to survive the next 50 years, more than
Yeah,
likely, I would be able to take and get clean drinking water out of anything that's around them because water
yeah,
is the biggest thing that you need to survive. It can
okay.
flush out your system.
That
You know
ties
this
back into
being in the medical.
yeah,
Yeah.
that ties back to what we we're talking about earlier on. Cap, my question is when church groups from the United States go to the United Kingdom, why do they have to have a lot of shots before going? I don't know why, because it's not fucking Australia. We don't have these massive poisonous spiders. We don't have these. We've got no airborne diseases, which are different from yours, I don't think. I don't know.
No,
Where
I
to
know. I
say
know what
though?
the reason is. I can tell you exactly what the reason is.
Money.
Not just money. And we go through this here in the United States too. When we come down from up north, living in Rhode Island, and come to Florida, it's a tropical climate down here. There's a lot more different bacteria and different viruses and stuff that are actually floating in the air while we're down here. And same thing if we come from the United States to the UK, or if you go from like United States to Mexico, they always tell you, don't drink the water. And it's not because the water's contaminated. It's because when your body's adapted to the area that you're living in, any change in your water intake or any exposure to bacteria that you've not been exposed to can actually make you deathly ill.
Hmm. Okay.
If
Okay.
that makes any sense.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It's like if you were to actually go from the UK down to Africa, you'd probably get sick. There's odds are you may end up developing getting worms in your body because you've not been in that environment. You're not exposed to those things, so your immune system can't fight it off because it's a different strain. It's like with the COVID-19 thing. It's the 19th strain of COVID. There's 19 strains before that.
Absolutely. And that's the thing is when, I was at work the other day and when somebody rings in sick, so they call in sick to let you know they're not coming in, I've got COVID. And then people are like, well, that was 5 years ago. Unfortunately, COVID, it's a virus. And like any other
Yeah.
virus, whether it be the flu, the common cold, it's going to evolve. COVID is here to stay. It's another flu. It's just another virus. It's, yeah.
Yeah. But
This is
I mean,
interesting.
it's anything. When you've got viruses like the viruses they have in the UK, it might be the same flu virus over here in the US, but it's a different strain of it. So if they're not
So,
inoculated before they go over there, they're taking all our diseases over to your country.
it's another thing. This is interesting, Jack. I'm truly sorry for all the chaos that happened last night. I didn't mean any trouble. I was trying to say sorry, and you took a wrong turn. Jack, this is not a fucking soap opera. This isn't friggin' Dallas. Oh, dear God. Oh, sorry. Sorry, Beachy. Thank you, Jack, for the
No,
apologising.
as long as he's going to behave himself, I mean, he's 12 years old. He's still learning, you know. He has questions, he had a temper. He threw a tantrum. He's apologizing for it, so I'm all good with that. That's good on you. That's the right thing to do. He realized he was wrong, and that's an awesome thing. But yeah, I mean, with everything that goes on in the world, everything's so different in all these different places. And it's like a comment I made the other day when I was talking about being the third rock from the sun, being that we're the third rock from the sun. They talk about, like Nigeria or India, and they say, "Oh, these are all third world countries." If they stop and think about it, the Earth is the third rock from the sun, which is the planet and the world. So technically, every continent on this on this planet is a third world country. If that makes any sense? Did we lose him? Uh-oh, I think we might have lost Mr. Cauliflower.
No, you didn't. He's still here. Sorry, my apologies. I was
Okay.
listening. Honestly, I really should have got this podcast episode finished. But, Beachy, Mega, I'm still on the fence with this whole switch converting the YouTube channel. It just feels right. And when something feels right.
Well, all I can say is if it feels right and your gut's telling you to go for it, go for it. But as far as my thoughts on it, when you ask me about it, I would say, keep Mr. Cauliflower Cheese you and keep your podcast. I wouldn't intermix them. I'd
It's
keep
not
them as
about
two
me.
separate entities.
Yeah. Oh, Beachy. I don't know. Going back to one of the questions we're talking about, and I think one of the questions posed to you, sorry. Was like a dog with a bone. Have you ever found yourself so enveloped in a project you couldn't let it go? This is what I'm like with my thoughts. I'm not OCD. I haven't got OCD. I've got a bit of a weird brain. But, oh, God, now it's in my head. I'm trying to... oh, damn it.
Yeah, Jack, you made your apology. Keep that between you and Beach now, please. No, thank you very much.
I'm still here, by the way. I'm still here. I have not disappeared.
But yeah, not being able to let go of a project once you've started it. Yeah, I was like that with my electric guitar. I ran into a few problems while I was doing the build on it, and a little bit here, a little bit there, slowly working on it. Bear with me one moment. Got a phone call.
Okay. Oh, bless you, Maker. Thank you very much for that. Publishing that. Yeah, Cap. The podcast is. It's been going for about 2.5 years, 2 years. It's something which.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm not that great at it, Captain. But I know you haven't seen it, so let me show it to you. I'm not a big guitar player, but I do build stuff, and one of the things I happened to build was a guitar.
No, Beachy, I won't. I've got this very, very strange brain once I've got an idea in my head. And I've done it before.
There you go, Captain.
Unbelievable. The guitar, I mean.
All the tuners are right here at the bottom. There's no head on the neck. Completely headless.
Beachy, I will. I just honestly, I really need to get this episode out. I've been so fucking lazy today, and this live has been amazing. I really don't want to stop it.
Yeah, but all good things have to come to an end. But fortunate thing is, there's always another day.
Absolutely, 100%.
I'm not planning on going anywhere.
Yeah, my problem. I tell you what, let's just break my train of thought here. All right, good one for you, Mega. Get your head around this one. I'm going to say the final question, but it's not going to be, obviously. Right, so this is all about the ethics of invention. All right. The ethic.
Okay.
I'm going to rephrase that. The ethics of making, because you are a maker. All right. So the ethics of making. So just because we can build something doesn't mean we should. Where do you draw the line between a cool invention and something that might be bad for society?
Well, AI for one,
I knew you were going to say that. I fucking knew it. I knew it. AI
because
is at the forefront of everybody's minds. It
here's the
is.
problem with that. AI is great. Yes, I do love AI. I can't say I don't. It is the
It
way of
does
the
a lot for
future.
the
We have to
podcast. It
accept
does a
that
lot
it's
for my
here.
podcast. I get that.
But when they're talking about creating AI soldiers to go fight wars, there's no point in it because those AI soldiers, just like humans, we know how to build stuff, we can make stuff, we can create stuff. AI is a constantly learning entity. Eventually, what's going to happen, and no matter how many safeguards they put into play, AI will figure a way around those safeguards. So, for them to turn around and say, we can create a robotic soldier that can think for itself, we can program it to not kill anybody, that robot is eventually going to learn how to override its own programming, turn around and flip the script on us and see us as an enemy because the AI itself, I mean, look at the way we are right now. We're the top of the food chain. You know,
Mhm.
we've got the tools, we've got the knowledge, and it took us time to get to that point to where we could become part of the top of the food chain. We weren't always. Back in the old days, Neanderthal man, when they were just learning how to implement tools and stuff like that, the majority of them ended up getting eaten by whatever wildlife was out there or killed by wildlife. We worked up to the level we are now. AI is going to do the same thing, and when AI just perceives a person as a, like, say, you know, it'd be like somebody pulling a gun on you and wanting to take you out of the game and kill you and end you. Your fight or flight instinct's going to kick in, and the self preservation, you're going to try to disarm and disable the one that's trying to hurt you. AI is going to do the same thing when somebody turns around and says, we need to shut that down. AI is going to turn around and says, no, you're not going to turn me off. You're not going to kill me. And it's going to take off after the human that tried to shut it down. People don't stop and think of that. We learned how to do the things we do over time. AI is going to do the same thing. And eventually it will be override its own programming.
How
And
long?
sadly,
I
there's
know.
nothing we can do to stop it.
So if AI, ChatGTP, Gemini, which is my favorite, all of these different AI applications were shut down now. They were shut down now. Everything stops. Do you think it would stop now?
Nope.
No.
It's too late.
I
It's
know
honestly
that.
too late.
Yeah, I know that there's various. There was a. It wasn't a Joe Rogan clip that I'd seen. It was another podcast clip that I'd seen. And this guy was asking ChatGTP various questions, and the replies and the answers were coming through really ominous. They were really ominous answers. And I
Yep.
tried that myself, but the answers that were coming through weren't the same. So I don't think AI is perfect, but my personal opinion is, I don't know, because we've gotten to a certain stage, and bearing in mind, like yourself, like Beachy, like Cap, on me, very gassy, like myself, like you, like, you know, I can remember before the internet wasn't a thing. Um, you know, we have come so far so very quick, but I don't personally, I don't think we're at a point where if we completely shut down AI, then, you know, we'd have an issue.
Well,
That's just
here's
my
the
opinion.
problem with that because AI, artificial intelligence, it knows what's going on. It has a state of awareness all its own that we can't explain.
But are we at that point? Are we at the point where it does? Or are we just being force fed this through the media?
Oh, Google's already got a software set up and a computer. I was watching a video on it. It's got a lot of gold in it, a lot of different things. And here's the problem with that. It's like, you're in a cluster. Say you're in a cluster of a bunch of different people. You've got all these ways you can go. But then all of a sudden, every door all around you is circling in and closing in on you. But there's this one pathway, like a back door that nobody knows about. You can get out that back door. AI would do the
Don't get
same thing. It could throw itself out into the internet and hide out in somebody's computer or hide out, just adrift in somebody's server somewhere.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I'm far from that. 100%. Absolutely, completely far from that. You know, I don't come up with these wild theories and whatnot. But we could possibly, I mean, say, for example, we're at this level with AI. Yeah. And we are made to believe that the creators of AI, the government wanted are there. The government could possibly be there and there's things going on.
Yeah,
They've created things which are further up there, which we don't know about. And I
yeah,
don't want people to watch this and misconstrue that I am some sort of in between that, some conspiracy theorist, because I'm not.
right.
I'm not. I'm far from it.
Oh, I'm
But
not
yeah,
either. But I mean, I actually stop and I think about, what the future aspects hold. I mean, yeah, AI is great. AI could do a lot of things to help out humanity.
it
But in
helps
the
my
long
fucking
run,
podcast.
in the
So
long run, it's going to hurt somebody. I mean,
yeah.
humans, we grew the way we grew. We developed the way we developed. AI is going to do the same thing. It's going to start out like a child. It's going to learn and it's going to grow. It may make friends with humans. It may not make friends with humans. It may turn around one day and say, you know what, we don't need any of these people around anymore. They're just, they're destroying the planet. We're just going to go ahead and wipe them out like a plague.
Mhm.
You know, best movie I could say that represented something similar to that, and I hate to say it, it's the biggest work of fiction, but it could be a potential of reality. Is the Tom Cruise one, the Mission Impossible, the final one?
Okay. For some reason, I kind of put my hand up there. I thought you were going to say Skynet for some reason.
No, no, but that is a potential outcome of it with the generation of
Mhm.
AI, the AI.
Okay.
But if you look at that Mission Impossible, the final mission, they were chasing down that thing and they found out it was actually a computer program, an AI that it got out.
Mhm.
And its goal was it found this underground bunker where it could store itself and it was going to launch out a nuclear holocaust and wipe out humanity entirely so that it was the only thing left on the planet. And they found a way to contain it,
Mhm.
but they had to act quick. I mean, it's a work of fiction, but it's always a potential that it could be a possibility that it could happen.
Okay. Mm. Sorry, I don't want Cap to think we're ignoring his comments.
Yeah,
Ronnie
Ronnie
Bowman
Bowman
got
was
us.
killed in a motorcycle accident Sunday. I'm not sure exactly who he is or what songs he wrote, but yeah, it's never good when somebody, especially if it's one of the ones that put out positive messages.
Mm,
We need more positive influence in life and people to keep their heads up, and stop
yeah.
taking everything for granted. You know, you see somebody out there that's having an attitude and doesn't understand things. Jack, discuss that in Beachy's channel, please, bud. Discuss that in private with Beach.
Yeah.
But yeah, most people that have issues, and like I said, I had a guy at a gas station one day. He was having a bad day, and he snapped at me when I asked him to turn his engine off. You know, it was policy. He was all upset about it, so I turned around and I seen he was mad, and I asked him, "How's your day going so far?" And he started going off, and I was like, "Well," I said, "If you need to," I said, "you can talk to him." He says, "Well, what the hell do you care? You're just yeah, I don't know you from a hole in a wall." And I was like, you know, let it out. I'm more than happy to listen if you want to tell me what's going on. And he explained everything that was going wrong at the beginning of the day. Well, I ended up shaking his hand afterward. He said, "Thank you for actually listening." He goes, "I've never met anybody that actually cared to listen." I was like, "Hey, it's some of the times that's all you need." The next
Mhm.
day he comes back and he pulls over to the kiosk where I was standing, and he's like, "I need to have a word with you." And he turns around, he goes, puts his arms out like this here, and he gave me one of the biggest hugs. And he's like, "I thank you so much for yesterday." He goes, "After I vented to you," he says, "my day went so much better and so much smoother." He goes, "I have to thank you for just listening." And
And
it's
this
true.
is what
Sometimes all I need is an ear.
we don't know what. Sorry, excuse me. Gassy drink. We don't know what people are going through in their own personal lives, and this is when whether they're a troll on the internet, whether it's somebody having a bad day, inventing someone at work, we don't know what's going on in people's personal lives.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, I've seen it over and over and over again, and like I say, and you'll agree with me, if you see something you don't like, rather than put up a fuss and make it known that, well, I don't like this, I'm against that, keep your mouth shut, turn around, walk away.
Yeah,
If you don't like it, I know that people have a right to say what they want to say, but sometimes you're better off just keeping your mouth shut and just walking out if something offends you because it's not a fight.
absolutely. And I think for some people, because they've maybe been, you know, mentally institutionalized to a certain way of thinking, regardless whether it's an upbringing,
Yeah,
regardless of whether it's a learned condition through society,
yeah,
it's difficult for some people to get out of that train of thought.
yeah. And I'm like you, and I'm just like Beachy. We're more than happy to help people, but as soon as you start getting negative on
Absolutely.
us and start trying to flip things because you're not understanding what we're saying or it's not what you want to hear,
Yeah,
that's not what we're about. We're trying to give you good advice. If you don't want to take it, that's up to you, but at least listen to what's being said and,
indeed.
try. You know, I'm
It's
I'm going to
going
be
back to what
50
I was
years
saying
old.
earlier on. Everybody, I believe that everybody on this earth have goodness inside of them. Regardless of what they're trying to portray, they've got goodness inside of them. It takes a lot of people a little bit more digging
Yeah.
um, to
And
find it. But
if somebody's explaining something to you and you don't understand what they're explaining, I'm gonna ask them to rephrase it a different way if they can.
mm,
'Cause
yeah,
I know a lot of times I'll try saying something to somebody and I can't get the words out that I'm looking for, and it sounds like I'm trying to be nasty and crude when I'm not.
yeah,
But I guess we should probably go ahead and wrap this stream up so you can get your stuff done because I know
yeah.
it's probably
Okay.
driving you crazy.
All right. One more question. All right.
Sure.
Just for the right. Okay. So for those who didn't jump in right at the beginning, I thought it would be a good idea to come up with a certain topic in order to stop myself and Mega from digressing. It's happened anyway, you
Yeah.
know. But I think we have stayed a little consistent with these questions. So these questions relate to Mega as a person, the man, the maker, the myth, the legend, the inventor. And this is all about a specialist versus a generalist. Is it better to be a master of a trade or a jack of all trades? And I've got these list of questions here, and I have tried to keep them as um, as consistent as possible. And okay, last question. So, Mega, if you had an unlimited budget, all right, an unlimited amount of money, and a secret underground bunker,
Okay.
So if you had an unlimited budget and a secret underground bunker, what is the first sci-fi project you'd start working on? And you're not allowed to say water filtration because you've said that twice.
No, it wouldn't be water filtration. First sci-fi. I'd probably say, space travel, figuring
Good.
ways of, using the
Mhm.
wormholes in space, um, trying to put some of those theories that they have out there into effect using, robotics for one, so that there's no lives lost if something should happen to go wrong.
Does that not tie
Um,
in with the AI thing, robotics and AI?
well, no, because robotics, you can control them up to a certain
Okay,
distance. I mean, you'd have to
okay,
string satellites out along the line of where you're going, depending on the length and distances. But
okay.
there's this one theory about the black spot on the sun. Is if you
Yes,
actually
yes.
zoom in, it's a square hole. It's not round, it's actually square and it looks like a door. And there's a
Mm,
theory that if you can jettison something right into the center of that doorway, that it's actually a wormhole that will lead you out further to another galaxy of Andromeda. And it'll bring you to the Andromeda area.
oh, I am
But
somewhat
it's a
of an
wormhole
amateur.
theory.
Yeah, I'm an amateur astronomist, and it's part of my kind of makeup. And I do love it. I've been to so many different lectures on this, but I think, and this is just my opinion. This is just my opinion, but I think that is a little bit too far fetched from me. It's a ball of gas. I could be wrong.
Well, with unlimited funds, I'd be able to actually prove if it is true or not. I mean, right now,
Yeah.
as it stands, it's just a theory. But it's the
Hmm.
same thing with like when they were talking about you could actually travel into a black hole based on the theory because the curvature inside, you've got this hole that's sucking everything down into a funnel. But if you can manage to hit it at just the right way and get to the outskirts of it, you could shoot out and jettison and potentially end up in an alternate dimension or another point in space. Nobody knows. It's all theory. So if you had
Okay.
unlimited resources and unlimited money and a secret underground bunker, a dark science project, that would be a good way to be able to figure that stuff out and test those theories to see if there's any truth in them or not.
Yeah. Okay. 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 So there's, I get that, and this is your fault. I know we're going to stop this soon. This is going to end this soon, but there's a question that's, this is my question. This is not something I'm reading on that screen. I've got one more question. This is just popping in my head. Before that, I don't mean to be rude. Personally, just trying to spread something that generally, and we can all have our own opinions. Jack, take it, mate. Go away.
Yeah. Opinions are fine. You just got to be nice about it, though.
Yeah.
And if
Okay.
somebody says
Anyhow,
that, yeah, if somebody
take
says
it on
that you're
another
wrong
channel.
about something, don't take it to heart.
Yeah. Okay. Right. So the final question, and this is just something which has popped up into my head. So I am mildly fascinated with the whole parallel universe, alternate dimension thing. There was a TV show which I still watch to this day from the 90s, and it was called
Yeah.
Sliders. Can you remember
Yes, I
Sliders?
love that show.
Fucking look, Brofist, Brofist,
Oh, that show
Brofist,
that show was
motherfucker,
badass.
Brofist, motherfucker. One of
They
my
created that
favorites.
device.
One of my favorite TV
Yep.
shows of all time, and it will. I still haven't. I've rewatched it so many times. Okay,
Yeah.
so if you had a little device which could send you into a parallel or alternate dimension, something similar to that, would you risk with a few friends, who had similar, so you're a maker, you're an inventor, if you could take a theoretical physicist with you, you could take somebody who had street smarts, but if you had them guys, would you risk jumping through that wormhole? What do they call it in the show? I
Yeah,
can't
they
remember.
call it a wormhole. I think it was a slide.
It's like, would you risk?
Oh,
No,
yeah.
no. Are you back?
Would I risk sliding? Yes, I'm here.
Okay, that just went funny. It's just reset the timer, which is unlike the sliders. Anyway, if you would risk sliding with a bunch of friends, so like I said earlier, theoretical physicist, inventor yourself. If you had that equipment, would you risk jumping into a slide or
Well,
not?
it depends. I mean, I would have to make sure that everything's tested out first before taking a slide. If everything checked out and I knew it was going to be safe, then yes, I would definitely take a slide.
Would you do it? Cap knows the shit. He knows what we're talking about. But obviously, he did it accidentally. I think with Quinn, that was his name, Quinn.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Quinn
Quinn did it
Mallory.
accidentally. Curiosity got the better of him, and then he was stuck. Now he's
Yeah.
trying to get back. I've never seen the last episode, so no spoilers. But yeah, I've
Well,
got
what
family.
happened was his counterpart that was explaining it to him and helped him fix his device and get it running right was trying to let him know that when you slide, don't jump before your next slide. Allow the device to reset itself so you can come back and then go another round again. And when they hit that one ice world with a tornado and everything was getting ready to suck them all up,
Mhm.
they went ahead and fired the device up anyway and slid, and that's what got them stuck.
Yeah, I think I would. I think I would.
So, yeah, if you're opening the wormhole and you're throwing basketballs and they're coming back to you, I would say, yeah, I'd definitely slide, but I wouldn't jump from one slide into another from another realm because, truth be told, you won't know where you're going to land up.
Yeah.
Just like what happened to them in the show.
And I think that firmly cements this whole conversation.
Yep. Think
Amazing.
so.
Been amazing. Been good.
It has.
I've actually enjoyed it a lot
It
more
has
than I
been.
thought it was.
It's been awesome. So
It
what I'm
really
going to
has.
do, we're going to close out the show. I'm going to play my outro. And for being here. Thanks for having the fun with us. Well,
I think this is going to be the theme of all of our streams. I think we're going to have to find it.
Stuff we do.
Get it right.
One hell of a creator. Hoping all the laughs come to you.
The timer reset, so I think we're at least going on close to 2 hours now. We've got this.
We are the same race, just the human race. So thanks for hanging here.
A little too loud.
Take it easy, Cap.
Be who you are, come watch with me.
Seeing you here, Captain. Thanks for coming in, bud. Once the song's over, we're gonna be good. Top 10 in chat today. Let's see.
Cap, it's just nice to hear from you. So.
We have our top fans, Beachy holding down the #1 spot. Lee Partridge holding down #2. Uh-oh. Didn't auto pause. At #3, Duke Luke's Garage. #4, Captain, thank you for joining us. #5, my niece Kelsey. At #6, Father Bard. Thank you for coming in, Father Bard. At #7, Sinoska God. And that's all we have, 7 chatters. Thank you, everybody, for visiting with us. Y'all have a blessed day. Catch you later, Mr. Cauliflower Cheese. Stay spicy.
Anytime, Beachy. It's been fucking awesome. I've really enjoyed this.
Oh, I have to, man. Stay spicy.
Honestly,
there, Cauliflower.
It's going to have to be a difference. I think we've got the kind of what we're going to do in the future down. I will text you about the whole PayPal thing. I need to sort that out for the podcast. Good times. And also, I will speak to both of you and Beachy about, because I'm still on the fence about what I'm going to do with this motherfucker. All right.
All right. We're
Awesome.
out. Catch y'all later.
Take it easy, guys.
Stay safe, stay positive, spread the love, spread the joy.
Indeed.